Uh, we are live again both on YouTube and Facebook. So, as is the topic today, pollution, mind pollution, and Vedanta. So, we know that mind is said to be a cluster of thoughts, and mind pollution therefore means or signifies the pollution of our thoughts. So, just a few days ago, we had the Durga Puja where the mother, the goddess who represents all the virtues, all the good qualities, slays the demon, the asura, who represents the vice or the negative thoughts or the negative forces that is within us. So she, the mother, the divine, she slays and kills the asura. But as Bhagavan says very beautifully, that you cannot actually kill or annihilate the negative thoughts totally. You can fight with them, and at best you can just go above them, but you cannot actually totally annihilate them. Why? And he gives a very beautiful example, instance, which comes very spontaneously, which is a very beautiful thing of Bhagavan, that he, makes us understand the complications of spirituality or the deep essence of spirituality in a very easy way. So that is one of the main facets of God incarnates. They will serve you the essence of spirituality, which in other ways would be very difficult to comprehend, but they will serve you in such a beautiful way and in such a beautiful method which comes spontaneously from them, that it seems so easy. Oh yes, this, I understand it. So that is one of their main facets of the God incarnates. So he says very beautifully that when you bring the goddess, the deity, to the pandal where she is worshipped, with all decorations, with lights and everything. So what we do is that we see the deity, the goddess, the mother, and there we see the mother slaying the asura. On the 10th day, the final day, the deity, the mother, is immersed in water, in rivers or big ponds. And we again wait for a year for the mother to come. And when she again comes, she does not come alone, because she has slayed the demon last year. So the demon won't come this year. It is not that. When the mother comes, the asura also comes with her. So it stays. Similarly, the vices within us, they stay. You cannot annihilate them totally. You have to fight with them. You have to fight with them. And this is one of the main process for spirituality, that you have to fight, you have to struggle. There is no escape. You have to struggle, and this struggle between the good and the evil, between the virtue and the vice, has been the tale, has been the story of humanity. This struggle of ours, this struggle of mankind, has been the story of humanity. So we have to struggle. Now, when these vices or the negative thoughts or the negative forces, they become powerful, then our mind becomes polluted. Because they pollute our thoughts, and hence our thoughts, as they get polluted, our mind also get polluted, because our mind is a cluster of thoughts. It's a combination of thoughts. There is nothing else known as mind. Like, as Bhagavan says, that there is nothing as forest. When you take all the trees of, variety of trees, innumerable trees, together, you call it a forest. The woods, the jungle, whatever you say. But there is no jungle as separate thing. What we know as forest or jungle or woods is a collection of various trees, innumerable trees. Similarly, there is nothing separate as mind. The mind means the combination or the cluster of thoughts. That is what is known as mind. So, when our thoughts get polluted, our mind gets polluted. And what happens? What is the consequence? What is the result? The result is that as our mind gets polluted, we lose the creativity within us. We lose the goodness within us. We lose the beauty within us. That is what we lose. So, Bhagavan said in the 12 divine commands, as Bhagavan said, that meditate, take care of, read Vedanta, meditate, read Vedanta, take care of thy health, avoid misuse. It's a very important point. Avoid misuse. We know what is misuse. When we are not there in the room and the light is there, light is on, we say it's a misuse of electricity, or the fan is moving and nobody is there in the room, the fan is moving, we say that it's a misuse of electricity. We understand this, or there is no one in the washroom but the tap is on, the water is flowing, so it's a misuse of water. We understand this sort of misuse. But we don't understand the main misuse. What is the main misuse? The main misuse is the misuse of our mind. This mind has immense power. It is immensely powerful. But this power of mind, this immense power of mind, they get diverted into various channels, and the power is wasted. However, if the power is, used for a creative thing, for the benefit of mankind, for the welfare of mankind, then it's okay, still it's good. But when it is used for negative things, even when we gossip, there are various kinds of gossip. There can be very constructive gossip. Great ideas at times come out of gossips. And again at times, very meaningful activities also come out of gossips. So, wherever there is this thought of negativity, of destruction, there is pollution. And the biggest pollution. We know various kinds of pollution. Nowadays we know air pollution, we know water pollution, we know land pollution, we know various kinds of pollution. But Vedanta says that the biggest of all the pollutions that we have is the pollution of mind, the pollution of thoughts, thought pollution or mind pollution. That is the biggest. Because in order to pollute air, first your mind must be polluted. If my mind is not polluted, I cannot pollute the air. If I pollute land, first my mind has to be polluted. For example, air pollution, we cut trees. Nowadays, we know about global warming and everything. So, we are cutting trees at random. Why? For our selfish means. For our selfish gratifications. We are doing these things. So, before cutting the tree, there is a thought which comes in me. Okay, if I cut the tree and if I sell it or do it something, then I will be gaining something. But at the same time, I know, my mind tells that if you do this, it will have a bad effect on nature. But I don't mind, because my negative thoughts or the negative energy within me has taken over the positive ones. My vices have taken over the virtues. My evil thoughts have taken over the goodness in me. Both are in me. The good, the bad, the virtue, the vice. Everything is within me. The goddess Durga, who is slaying the demon, that is also within me, the mother. And at the same time, the Asura, the demon, that is also within me. Nothing is outside. What is the proclamation of Vedanta? The very proclamation of Vedanta is that everything is within you. Goddess Durga, that is also within you. The goodness, that is also within you. And the Asura, the demon, the vices, the negative thoughts, the negative forces, the negative energies, they are also within you. And this war, this fight, this struggle, it goes on within us. So we must always be careful that our mind are not polluted. Because if I pollute my mind, my activities will undoubtedly get polluted without any fail. Because thoughts are the cause of our actions, or actions are the gross manifestations of our thoughts. So if my actions are not good, it implies that the thoughts which I have thought before committing the activity or before doing that activity, those thoughts were not positive. Those thoughts were not good. And hence Vedanta says that look at your thoughts. Be careful about what you think. The world will always say, be careful about what you do. But Vedanta says, be careful about what you think, because your thoughts will produce your actions. So, be careful. Don't let anything pollute your thought. If we can stop this pollution of our thoughts, if we can stop this mind pollution of ours, then we can easily get rid of all other pollutions that we know. The mind pollution, the land pollution, air pollution, water pollution, whatever pollution is there, we can get rid of that. because the source to all this pollution is mind pollution. And that is why Bhagavan says that take care of thy health and then avoid misuse. Avoid it. If my mind gets polluted, if I don't have anything to pollute, if even I am sitting in my room, so there is no air pollution, there cannot be any land pollution, there cannot be any water pollution. My mind is polluted and I am in my room, I am in my house. So what will I pollute? I will pollute the atmosphere of my house. I will do it. As we know the famous saying that a bad man quarrels with his tools. So what does a bad man mean? What does it imply? A man whose thoughts are not good. He will quarrel with his tools. That my tools are not okay and that is why I cannot do good things. So be careful about your thought. Always be careful. Because it is thought actually which matters most, not actions. Action are the gross manifestation of our thoughts. So if we can stop this mind pollution, then other pollutions, they will cease automatically. And that is why Vedanta plays a very significant role in all other pollutions. You just name it, may it be air pollution, may it be land pollution, may it be water pollution, may it be anything, global warming or whatever you say, because it goes to the source, the mind, the thought, and it rectifies our thoughts. So how to avoid this mind pollution? For this, the first thing which we need is a good environment first. A good environment, a good atmosphere, so that if by chance my thoughts get polluted due to the good atmosphere, positive atmosphere, I can rectify my thoughts. So this good atmosphere, this good environment is what is known as satsang. In the West nowadays, it's very popular, Sangha. So what is Sangha? Satsang actually. Satsang means to be in the company of the perfect one, of the absolute, to be in the company of the absolute, to be in the company of the perfect, to be in the company of the righteous, to be in the company of the holy, to be in the company of the good. That is what is known as satsang. So what happens is that when I begin to associate myself with such satsangs, when I start going to a place where there are these teachings, what happens is that I get positive foodings for my mind. We know we become hungry. It's a common thing. We did not give any logic or anything. It's a very common thing that every one of us feel hunger. We become hungry. And when we become hungry, what do? We need food. We try to have some food. Now, the first thing is that what I need or what I search, some good food. Tasty, good food, nutritious, if possible. If I do not get so, if I do not get a nutritious food, if I do not get a tasty food, what do I do then if my hunger goes on increasing? I will try something leftover or something, whatever I get. If even that doesn't happen, I will be going to the where all the leftovers are, thrown, and the wastage, the dustbins. I will search there at least to satisfy my hunger, else I will die. So then I will take whatever is there, rotten, wasted, whatever is there. Because my body needs food. Similarly, the food for the mind, as this food we know, it is for the body. Similarly, our mind also needs food. And what is the food for the mind? Thoughts. Because it is thought that creates the mind. So if I don't get good thoughts, I will begin to think something which is not good. If I cannot think something positive, I will think something negative. But I have to think, because I cannot live without thinking. I don't know the technique, the art to live, or the art to have a mind bereft of any thoughts. A thoughtless state of the mind we do not know, because we are accustomed to thinking. We know that is our mind. So, at the beginning, what we really need is a good atmosphere. What we really need is a good environment. So, this satsang, and this has been time and again said in all the scriptures, that be in the company of the holy person. What does a holy person means? Not one who is, always going to the Ganga or some sacred rivers or something. One who is immersed in the thought of the self, one who is immersed in the thought of the absolute, one who is immersed in the thought of God. He is a holy person, a saint. And if possible, try to be in the company of someone who has reached that thoughtless state, which is known as God realization or self-realization. But that is very rare. But it is not that such a person doesn't exist. Never has been this world bereft of such self-realized persons. So our first work is to be in the company of such self-realized person. If it is not possible, then try to be in the company, or try to go to a place, or try to associate yourself to a place where you can hear about the self, where you can hear about the absolute, where you can hear about the truth, where you can be fed with some good and positive and nutritious thoughts. And gradually this will become a habit. And then I will see that if I don't go to the satsang or to this company, the association of the holy persons, the association of the self-realized persons, if I don't go, then I cannot leave. I will die if I don't go. As we see, persons or devotees who are associated with the International Vedanta Society, with different centers of International Vedanta Society, or even, devotees of other spiritual organizations. They at the first they try to go once or twice, and after they like it, after they get attracted to it, then they cannot live without it. They cannot live without it. So first we have to make it, we have to practice it, going again and again, going again and again. This also needs a practice. Because at times our mind will think, okay, today you need not go, you have been going for the last 2-3 days. One day if you are absent, it's nothing. That's the trick of the mind. Never step or never take that side, never take his side of the old mind. Never support it. Always thrust upon yourself that no, I have to go. I have to get some nutritious food for the mind, as I need nutritious food for the body, so do I need nutritious food for the mind. I need this. So try to be in the company of such self-realized persons. And when this happens, when we start going and we get attracted, then we will see that it has become a habit of ours, and it feels that if due to some reason I cannot go, as if my mind goes there. If I cannot go physically, my mind roams there, it goes there, and it thinks what is being taught today, what is being discussed today, and I try to hear it from someone else. This is the mark of development. And what happens when we feed our mind with these good, positive and nutritious thoughts? Now this is the pandemic going on, and the second time many of the European countries are again going into lockdown, and all things are happening which we don't like actually, but still we have to follow. There is no other way out. So there it is being always said, it is being time and again said that, what is it? Immunity. If you have a good immunity, then you will not be affected by this virus. So if I have a good immunity, I will not be affected with the virus. Similarly, because the virus, there are various or many viruses which are there in the air. As I am talking now with you, just sitting in this room on this chair, there are many viruses and many germs which are floating in the air, which I am unable to see, which the human mind is unable to observe or see. But if my immunity is okay, then I will not get affected. But if I have a bad immunity, I will get very easily infected with them. So the first thing is that develop your immunity. That is the first thing. As nutritious food, good food, as doctors now tell that you have to have a lot of protein in your food, in your diet, you have to have a lot of protein and a lot of nutritious things. Similarly, these negative thoughts, they are always there. The world has been never bereft of positive thoughts. The world has never been bereft of negative thoughts. Both are there from time immemorial. Then how can we, protect ourselves from these negative thoughts, from this negativity, from this pollution? Increase the immunity. How? In case of food, we know we need nutritious food with proteins, vitamins, minerals. In this path, we need the company of the self-realized persons or the company of positive persons. We need good thoughts, good and strong thoughts, positive thoughts. Because when I will start thinking positive thoughts, they will in turn create positive actions. So start thinking positive. Start or try to be in the association of such persons where you get or you come across good thoughts, positive thoughts. And if they are the thoughts about the self, that's the greatest. That's the most positive and they are the strongest thoughts where you come to know or where you come to hear about yourself. So, what we have to do? We have to increase our immunity in order to save ourselves from pollution of the mind, pollution of the thought. And once we can protect ourselves from the pollution of thought, all other pollutions will cease. A man who is bereft of or who does not have thought pollution, whose mind is not polluted, will always be full of goodness, be full of positivity. That is why when we go to a self-realized soul, or even in the society, there are persons, when you sit with them, even for some time, even for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, you feel so, elevated. You feel so elevated. So, try to be in the company of positive persons. Try to be in the company of good thoughts. Try to be in the company of the positive thoughts. And that is why, as Bhagavan says, that avoid misuse, because the energy of our mind is the strongest energy that we know. Don't misuse that energy in just loose gossips, speaking about someone else for hours. It's no positive thing. It's no, it's not a creative thing. It's not a constructive thing. Try to engage yourself in some constructive things, in some constructive ideas, in some good ideas. Because ideas multiply. You think one bad thought about someone, it will go on multiplying. Similarly, you think one good thought, it will also multiply. So make a habit of cultivating good thoughts, and the easiest way is to be in the company of holy persons, is to be in the company of the self-realized persons. That is the best way to control and overcome the pollution of mind. That is what Vedanta says. Be careful about what you think, because your thought, they regulate your actions. Your thoughts are transformed into actions. A very interesting thing, which is very, normal, and we have even, almost all of you have even felt it, realized it in your own lifetime, that if you are reading, something, if you are reading some books, maybe a detective book, or you are going through a series of detective books or something like that, novels, and if perchance there is a theft or something somewhere nearby you, When you go there, you try to think in that way. Okay, what would that detective thought? In what way would he have, progressed his thoughts or developed his thoughts? You try to think in that way because you have engaged yourself, you have engaged your mind, you have engaged your thoughts in that way. Similarly, when we engage our mind in the thought of the self, when we engage our mind in the thought of the good, when we engage our mind in the thought of positive things, our mind start to see positivity everywhere. And if I engage myself in negative thoughts, in negative things, I will start to see negativity everywhere. So it is up to us. What we want to see, that is the beauty. The world is neither good nor bad. The thing is, what do you want to see? If you want to see good, cultivate good thoughts. Cultivate positive thoughts. Cultivate positivity. If you want to see the other way around, it's up to you. So, Vedanta says that you can overcome this mind pollution by having the company of the self-realized person. Look at your thoughts, be careful about what you think, and avoid misusing the power of your mind. You can work miracles. You can work miracles with this mind. You can work wonders with this mind. Just cultivate it, make it a habit. With this, I would like to end today's session. It's after a long time that we are again together here on this platform, YouTube and Facebook at the same time. We will be meeting next. By this time, if any one of you have any questions, as usual, you can ask and I will try to answer it. And we will be meeting next on both these platforms on the coming Thursday with our Bengali session. So till then, let us keep a watch on our thoughts. Let us be in the company of the good and the positive. Let us have healthy thoughts and healthy mind, which can in turn create healthy activities, positive activities. I once again, on behalf of the International Vedanta Society, Mayur Badi, would like to thank all of you for this wonderful session of ours. Namaskar.